Hello and welcome to the Management Mentors, where we are looking at interviewing tips that can hopefully help transform those potentially ordinary interviews into conversations that uncover great candidates. So, drawing on my years of interviewing experience, I thought I would share some tips that have made a real difference for me and hopefully for you. Before we do that, there is an important step that I found sets the tone for success. Once you have compiled your list of potential candidates, contact those who stand out and arrange to have a chat over the phone. This serves a dual purpose. Firstly, a great way to assess their phone manner, always helpful. And secondly, but most importantly, it enables you to decide on who warrants a face-to-face interview. Think of this step as a prelude to the main event. So, for when you get into conducting those interviews, here's my top tips. Tip number one, when interviewing, you're looking for a delicate balance between working off a list of prepared questions and having a relaxed conversation. Picture yourself engaged in a laid-back conversation, just casually chatting away. This is the environment you aim to create. Then, by infusing your prepared questions with an informal atmosphere, you will unlock valuable insights. Tip number two, focus on the person, not just their skills. Will they fit? What have they accomplished? What are they passionate about? These are key to gauging their alignment with your culture and what drives them. It's about unearthing who they really are. Tip number three, ask the candidate to share their real life experiences as opposed to just talking about situations. This allows you to understand how they approach challenges and navigate uncharted waters. Tip number four, ask open-ended questions. This is really important as it enables you to reveal their thinking patterns, problem solving, and team working abilities. The key here is to ask the question, then sit back and wait for an answer. Once they have replied, ask for more information, a real life example, or for them to explain further. This will help to reveal what they're good at and not so good at. Tip number five, this is a really important one. Remember, it's a two-way street. They will be assessing or even interviewing you and testing your culture. A big one here is candidates will almost always ask you to describe your culture. Be prepared. You will need to explain your culture properly with examples, and above all else, be authentic. Tip number six, it's time to conclude the interview. But before you do, make sure you've given them plenty of opportunity to ask questions. Remember, the type of questions they ask will give you a guide as to what they're looking for. Once that is done and it's time to wrap up, let them know the process going forward and the timelines. Remember, keep the timeline short, as the great candidates won't wait around for you. At the very end, show your appreciation for them taking the time to attend. Remember, a well-executed interview is not merely an assessment, it serves as a pathway to a positive encounter with your business. A point to note for the first interview. While you may be keen to dive into a candidate's technical skills and experience, touch on that generally, but reserve the real technical questions for the second interview. The initial interview is about assessing their alignment, attitude, and cultural fit. If they're not going to fit or contribute to your team, what's the point of employing them? So, to wrap it up, in summary, start with the relaxed vibe, explore alignment, their attitude and passions, ask open-ended questions, look for real-life examples, focus on culture, and wrap up with the next step. Finally, leave a positive and lasting impression. Hopefully these tips were helpful. please hit the like button and share them with your colleagues. Join us at the Management Mentors by subscribing for more tips and insights. And above all else, thank you for tuning in, and may your interview be a resounding success.